What do you think, Slash? Slash, come here, Slash. Sit down. Sit. Let's talk about this. Sit. Do you think that we should depth test this Garrett Vortex today and see if it's waterproof? Yes, I think we should. Don't you, Slash? Don't you think we should? Yes. I think Slash says we should depth test the Garrett Vortex and see if it's waterproof. Come join the live stream tonight and see if it survives. I'm gonna get a rope. We're gonna get the tape measure. I'm gonna take it down to the river. I know a spot, and it's not over 16 feet deep. It's where the boats park. It's about 10 to 12 feet at high tide. So let me get this thing going, and I'll see you again in a few minutes at the river. All right, guys, I've got the scuba weight tied to it, 2 pounds. Got a rope hooked to it. Let's show you what I got here. We're gonna have to pull the cord back out here. The tape measures at 16 feet. The knot, this knot, let me show you guys. See that 16 feet? Right there. The knot, somewhere right in there. You guys see what I got there? Did it survive, guys? That is the question. Did it survive? Well, stay tuned. Later on in the live stream, I'm going to show you, did the Garrett Vortex survive? Let me do some shout outs. Looks like we got a good many people in here tonight. So let me roll back through here and just holler at everybody real quick. Bob, what's up? Edward, what's going on, man? Ohio, the other side of the boat. Bill, Tex, Brian, Delta Fresh Relics, Matthew, Trump Dance. What's up, Mikey? Metal Detecting, Northwest Wisconsin. And I've got something that I want to show you that he sent me in an email from his Vortex testing, and we will get to that. And it is the coin VDIs that he tested at the current state that the Vortex is in, and we will get to that. We've got some word from Garrett on the Vortex, so we will get some official news from Garrett out in just a minute after I do the shout outs. The other side of the boat, Blasted Cat. What's going on, Iffy? What's up, man? Finders Keepers, and I'll get to, there's so many in here, I'll get to call. Buddy, what's up? Gopher, Jay, Ricky, Lance. Let's see here, who else I got? The metal detector, the medical detectorist, and TN Sharpshooter, the famous TN Sharpshooter, one of the best metal detector testers on the planet right there. Guy is thorough. Really blows me away with his thoroughness because he's so much more thorough in shaking a metal detector down than I am. Conversate with him about daily, especially like when we're shaking down a new metal detector like the Garrett Vortex. Justin and Sheba's Nick, what's up? Let me see here. In Southern Relics, and Brian, and Steel Air, what's going on, everybody? The official news from Garrett. I talked to a Garrett representative today, and they told me that Garrett is listening and that Garrett will be updating the machine for the VDI abnormalities in the multi-frequency, multi-salt. I don't know all the details. I have no idea when. I don't have a beta version. I don't know if I will. I don't know. I don't really have a working relationship with Garrett like that. Hey, I appreciate it, Jay. Yeah, TN, he's pretty rough, and if he on breaking these metal detectors down, but I have no idea. I don't have a working relationship with them like I do with Nocta, XP, and MindLab. But I want to start off talking about some things, and we're going to get to the Vortex, pros and cons. We're going to talk about the beach. I took it to the beach and tested it. We're going to talk about the water depth test that I did today. But I want to talk about something that's off subject from the Vortex for a minute. And this has everything to do with all manufacturers. And it's not just Garrett. It's Garrett, Nocta, MindLab, and XP. And I want to talk about the playbook just for a minute. You guys... I'm going to talk just for a second, so if I ignore the comments, you guys just keep chatting with one another, and I'll come back to them. But I've got something on my mind, especially with, kind of what's went down with the Vortex in the last week. I get that when a metal detector company releases a detector and we find bugs or glitches, it can be problematic for the company, maybe embarrassing. I don't know. It could be a lot of things, negative publicity for a company. But in recent years, you know, I have been testing metal detectors, and Garrett, I've kind of steered away from their detectors over the years because of all the latest technology and the performance over the single frequency that they make. And now they've come out with this Vortex, and it's center stage. And you guys that watch my channel know that I'm not picking on Garrett. I'm not hating on Garrett. I'm doing what Calabash Digger does, and that is shake machines down. And if Garrett's watching, and I'm sure they are, I want to lay something out there. It's not just Garrett. You guys know that I had a battle royale with Delic from Nocta over the Legend. Iffy Signals is on here. He had the same battle. He outed it with the iron bias. The Nocta made claims that the Legend, and I'm bringing this up to show the fairness when dealing with all manufacturers. Me and Nocta have an excellent relationship. Me and Delic have a very good relationship now, but things in the past and about the way they've learned and the way they do things now, that company has evolved and could be a real role model in the way they deal with problems and the way they deal with it with social media. So Nocta battled it out, and there's a video still floating around YouTube that Delic did about me. But at the end of the day, it all worked out like this. The issues that TN Sharpshooter brought up with the Legend with modern trash, guess what? They did change it, but it was much growing pains and, you know, and much, you know, things like no problem here and, you know, and this and that. And the iron bias that Iffy broke on first, and then I come out on it. There were some other things. But to make a long story short, there was a lot of blowback from that, and Nocta evolved. When their other detectors like the double score come out, and me and Iffy got them, when we report, they knew. Look, we were telling the truth about the detector. Look at the updates that were done. It was every issue that we did. And we'll get to MindLab and XP in just a minute because this pertains back to the Vortex and what the videos I've showed over the Vortex here in the last week. Sorry guys, I'm not looking at the comments, but I need to get this out there, then I'll engage with you guys. So, long story short, Nocta evolved from the Legend. The double come out, there were some things, if you called, I called or whatever, we reported them back, they made the changes. The triple score come out, Bass Trackerman or Treasure Finder 66 found something on the beach where it was calling a nickel. It's 6 inches iron. You know, that's gold. That's gold range, calling gold 6 inches at iron. And there was another issue found about the pinpoint by Corey, Delta Fresh Relics. And then I looked at the beast mode and it was problematic. It didn't have the depth that it should. And Nocta didn't go into that denial or, you know, that sideways slide like we see sometimes over the years of companies doing. And it's like politicians do. They slide this away, slide that way. They went another route. And you guys know how well this worked out for that company. They acknowledged there was a problem, and we are listening to our customers, and we are working on it. And how long did it take them to get me a beta version for that beach program? 3 days. It was on a Thursday, that Friday, Saturday, that Sunday night, they sent me a link while I was in the bed to a beta version that fixed that. And with that being said, I think Nocta, I've not always agreed. I've had knockdown dragouts with Delic with what she's done and how she's done it, but they have evolved as a company in the way that they're dealing with things now and the problems. You know, that can be a love-hate relationship with people like me and Iffy and TNN. She don't love you yet, TNN. She's still... But it can be problematic because you are taking a company's product and you are showing the negatives. Now, I always try to be fair and show the pros too, and we will talk about that with the Vortex this time. But XP, I love that company. And, you know, just to show, because I'm sure Garrett's watching, XP has sent me free gear. I love that company. But you see this? Over 3 years of diving between me and Flagmen, you know, these remotes are dead. I've got 3 coils setting over there in the floor after 3 years of diving that are dead. I'm sure XP would love for me not to say that, but if 3 years of extensive underwater diving, those remotes are dead, yes, I'll send them in to the warranty place and they will replace them for me. But it is real. What we do here is real. What Iffy does is real. What TN does is real. And it's not bashing. It's not hate. I don't hate Garrett. No more than I hate MindLab, or I hate Deus, or I hate Nocta. XP, they got the 6, 7, 8, and 9s. It's problematic. I don't know that that will ever be taken out of that machine. Some people say it's not a problem, but I agree with Iffy, it's a problem. MindLab sent me a Manicore. I talked to them behind the scenes, and they kind of like, you know, and then I started showing it publicly. And what happens? They have a physicist and a doctor come here from Australia and visit 2 YouTubers in their colonial sites and one out west to study what was going on with the faulting issue, and they resolved it. But they, you know, in my opinion, and everything in this video is my opinion, in my viewpoint. The comments are the commenters' viewpoints. They don't necessarily represent mine. But what I'm saying is this. For all the companies that are watching and all the people that watch me, this is my suggestion to the companies. If there's a problem, don't do the side widener dance. Go at it straight on, because these detectors are updatable. And I know for myself and the people that follow me, we appreciate straightforwardness. The videos that I put up over the Vortex, to be honest, if Garrett had contacted me after I showed the first one and the problems and said we had a beta, then I would have stopped. There's no need for me to test the Vortex anymore, because it needs an update, in my opinion, with the Coin VDI. You could go out, of course, and dig relics without the VDI, and you know, I get that, but if a man wanted to cherry pick silver, it's problematic for the Vortex that I have, if he has, the one that Detecting Northwest Wisconsin has. So there's multiple units that we know that are performing like that. How widespread is it? I have no idea. But more people will get the unit, they'll do the test, but Garrett says that they are listening and they're working on the update for the VDI numbers and the long charge times. That's right, the long charge times. Iffy Signals got a text message from Steve Moore and says that they're working on an update that will fix that too in the near future. When? I have no idea. So I don't know. I just don't know. I just know that that's the official statement from Garrett that was sent to me, and basically Iffy Signals. Now, to jump to another thing for YouTubers, to speak to that for a moment, we have XP Team, whatever, USA, we have Nocta Nomads, we have MindLab Detexperts, we have Team Garrett. And the problem with all 4 of those companies' little things is they're marketing things. And I guess it's not a problem, but from my viewpoint, it's problematic, because basically me and Iffy's been Team Garrett in diagnosing the problems of this detector. Yes, it's been done publicly, and I'm sure that they would appreciate it if it had to been, and I'm sure Nocta would have to, and MindLab would have to, and XP would have too. But the problem is normally when it's done behind the scenes, or my experience, and you can ask Iffy about this, things don't seem to get done. And the problem is fast. It's fast. And sometimes you get shrugged off and ignored. But when the consensus comes out that this needs fixing, it normally gets a company moving, whether that's Nocta. We see Garrett's moving. We see that, you know, MindLab moved, XP moved on some of their things and updated their machine. But these groups of people and these YouTubers, you know, that are yes men, well, that is not what my channel is about, and it never has been. And I don't make money off of metal detectors, so I guess that gives me the freedom to kind of speak and show the pros and the cons, where when we see Nomads and we see Detexperts and we see Team Garrett and, you know, we see MindLab people. When I said that about the iron faulting on the Manicore, we had Detexperts over there and across the pond. Calabash don't know what he's doing. You know, he's a rookie. Yeah, and then they give an update to fix it. Or The nomads, when Iffy showed that, and I talked about the legend, the nomads attacked us. They don't know what they're doing. It's not good, guys. It's not good to not have any objective things to say when things are wrong. It doesn't get anything changed. And I want every company to succeed, including Garrett, because Garrett is an American company, number one, and competition is good for the end user. And we could talk about how competition has a triple score at $499 with 2 coils, carbon fiber headphones, a MindLab Elite at $599 with 2 coils and headphones that are top dog performers. You know, the performance gap on high-end and $400 and $500 detectors is shrinking rapidly due to this competition. But let me look at some comments, and, you know, we'll get to, did the Vortex survive? But I wanted to lay that out there because I'm sure Garrett's watching, and I wanted to know that I'm not picking on Garrett. I'm not showing Garrett any disrespect. I'm showing Garrett's product just like I do Nocta's product, just like I do MindLab's product, and just like I do XP's products. And that has benefited the community, and I hope that the things that me and Iffy have shown will make this detector a better detector at the end of the day. We've seen the legend, and we know this is possible. We've seen the legend through updates transform from an average performing detector to one of the best performing detectors in that price range that has ever been made. So, what will the Vortex be in a couple of months? I don't know, but we shall see. Let me get back over here. Hey, I appreciate it. Let me go back. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to set the stage real quick, you know, about this. And all the yes men YouTubers that are just basically salespeople now, you're not helping anybody. You're not helping anybody. You're helping. There's people who watch us that depend on us to give accurate pros and cons, accurate negative and positive information so they will know how to make an informed purchase decision. If I had grabbed the Vortex and ran to the field and started finding stuff, and I could have traveled, went found reals, silver coins with it, what would have happened? Well, if Iffy had done the same thing, what would have happened? He actually took it out on a hunt and found some good stuff with it. Well, this testing exposed some of the problems that Garrett is now working on to make this a better metal detector. And that is the goal of this channel, is to help the consumer first, the company second, and have some fun diving and metal detecting and finding stuff. Sorry, guys, I'm back. Let me get back over here. Let me see what we got here. Hey, I appreciate it, guys. What's up, Phil? I'm sorry, guys. I got on a thing there. You know, let's look at the video of Did It Survive? And then we'll talk about some pros and we'll talk about cons of this metal detector. Guys, we're on the 60-second countdown. It is 1:24. Yeah, it is 1:24 and about less than a minute left. Can you confirm with your phone, Captain Tyler, that you got the same time as I got? Vortex has been soaking. Tide come in, tide's going back out. So we're going to see what happens, guys, here in just a minute. And it is Thursday, December 5th. And let's show you right here. Same time. It has been soaking 5 hours. So I'm going to let Captain Tyler take this camera back. And we're going to get with it, guys. So I'm going to wait for the alarm to go. What should we be at? About 20 seconds now?
20 or less.
Yeah,
125 should do it.
Now we got a seagull watching us, guys. So we're going to see what happens. There it is.
125.
5 hour time. All right, guys. Let's pull it up and see what happens here. All right. We Got the Vortex coming up. Coming up. Oh yeah, she's been sitting in the mud. Let's rinse her off a little bit. There she comes right there. All right, guys. Maiden voyage of the Vortex. Let me get the camera right here put on the stem and we'll get her cranked up. See what happens, guys. So that's 5 hours of soaking and we're gonna check it out. All right, and the suspense builds. And the suspense builds, guys.
I'm excited.
Let's see. And she fired up. Let's check the volume. She's detecting. All right, she survived a 5-hour underwater dive trip at 10 to 12 feet. So, I will take it home, run it back to my test garden, make sure that it's operating correctly. But there you go, guys. Vortex water depth tested. Stay tuned for the rest of the live. All right, guys, we did run into a little bit of problem. I want you to listen to this machine, and Captain Tyler can come up close. And I'm gonna show them right here, the volume is wide open. The volume is wide open.
It's not very loud.
No, it lost its. Maybe we can get the water out of it.
There it kind
Still ain't as loud as it should be.
So the speaker's getting waterlogged.
Yep. All right, guys. We're going to go and see if we can figure out the volume issue and how to correct that. And let me show you guys. The volume issue did get figured out, and I got word from Garrett, text Nugget Noggin, and I told him that my speaker had went down on the Vortex, and it was muffled, and he called Garrett, and they sent word back to give it some time that it would dry out, and that they had, you know, that this would go. And so that is a fact. The speaker works. It survived a 5-hour journey to the bottom of a brackish river. Yes, I rinsed the machine off very good, but it survived. It survived that journey. The charging, long time charging, they told Iffy that would be addressed too in a future update, the charging taking so long. Let's talk about some pros, and then we're going to talk about some cons of the Garrett Vortex. And, you know, I'm sure every manufacturer only wants to hear the pros, but you're going to get both here. Let me look at let's look at, yeah, it come back on. It come back on and it's operating fine. Here's some pluses about the Garrett Vortex. It is one of the best EMI mitigating metal detectors I've seen. I mean, watch this. Let's see what we can do in the house. Now, I probably got it bumped up pretty high here. We may have to cut the sensitivity down. That is really good for in the house. Let me see where we're at on sensitivity. Let's see what happens at 6. That is excellent. If I go cut one of these other metal detectors on in this house, it will go bat crap crazy. Oh, yeah, TN. I need to talk about that. So we've been listening to the Vortex on the external speaker. So when I was at the beach and I ran the Vortex with the headphones, there is a night and day difference with audio quality over the external speaker. So when I was listening to those deep targets with the headphones on, they hit harder than the external speaker. So the audio quality, if you're going to run a Vortex, my suggestion, if you're going to select dig or chase artifacts in iron, you definitely need a set of those wireless Garrett Z-Link headphones. In my opinion, Garrett should offer some kind of package including those Z-Link headphones, because in my mind, if you really want to get into detecting, you need a set of good headphones to really learn the nuanced audio of a metal detector, whether it's a Vortex, a Deus, or whatever detector you're using. But Yeah, the large screen, you can see the screen for the blind people. I don't even have to wear my glasses when looking at the screen. Another pro, and I'm going to say this, and this is a pretty bold statement about the Vortex. The Vortex is the most stable metal detector that I have ever seen on the saltwater beach. It's almost uncanny silent. I'm walking around and it's so quiet I can hear the ringing in my ears. You know, I'm getting old, I got a little ringing, but I'm walking around there and I'm like, dude, I was like, my headphones must have unpaired. I'd swing the scoop in front of it, I hit the salt water, and it is definitely, we've got some stable metal detectors. The Elite stable, the Triple stable, the Manicore, it's a little more lively. The XP is a little more lively, running those 40 kilohertz beach programs, but the Vortex is the most stable metal detector that I've seen on the beach. Let's see what he got right here. So, Squatch Thumper took his out and found some stuff today, but I need to get back to the beach before I lose my train of thoughts. But he took it out and AT smoke. Yeah, well, yeah. Let me go ahead and shift here real quick while we're talking about the pros. Best unmasking detector in the Garrett lineup. It's the best that I've seen in iron unmasking. I know that me and Iffy had some different results. On his block test, it didn't do that well, but on some of my in-ground tested, I used the Manicore as the control to set up the in-ground test with. It did, you know, pretty good, and it beat the AT Pro and the AT Max by a mile in unmasking. That has been one of my critiques of Garrett over the years, especially with the Deus 1 and the HF coil come out. For relic hunting, these higher frequency machines just really, really beat 14 and 15, 16, whatever the max is and whatever the pro runs, 14 to 18 kilohertz. I think it's lower. The goal was 18. Some down in the 14 range. That those detectors really on raw unmasking in iron with commingled targets were really outclassing those machines. And I departed from the AT Pro and went to a Deus 1 because of that. But the Vortex, if you are in the Garrett ecosystem and you want a better unmasker and you don't want to come out of the Garrett ecosystem, then the Vortex is definitely the best unmasker. It is not the deepest. The AT Max in my mild soil, let me back up right here before in my mild soil is deeper in IDs at depth, and I don't know if they're going to work on that or not about the ID at depth. The ID falls off on this machine. In my soil, a 9-inch dime, it really has trouble IDing. In all the other machines that are out now in its price range and below and above, all ID dimes like at 9 inches very, very easily. Some of them bounce a little more, like and some of them have better IDs, but they do hit. This one has got something where it falls off, but stability, the unmasking, the depth on the beach is very good on the beach. It matched the triple score and possibly beat the triple score on a couple of items on the beach. If you go back and you watch the video, I was making some calls that they were close on one target, and then when I listened to, and you had to think I was listening to the external speaker, and we had the machine mic'd up closer with a mic, and guys could hear it better. So when I edited the video, I was like, well, wait a minute. And I said, oh, they were tie. And in one target, I said, I don't think the triple hit it. I think the Vortex did. So it's got some depth capabilities on the salt sand, and it runs stable, but it needs an update ASAP, as I said in one of my videos about these IDs. So it's got some pros. One of the cons, and I'm going to bring this up, and that is price. And this is just my opinion, but I think that this machine is overpriced for the category that it's in. Or if it's going to be priced at $599, at least needs a set of headphones to come with it. And I hope Garrett's watching, and I hope you're listening to that. That may not be what you want to hear, but the competition out there is fierce at that price range. And these other detectors are giving you 2 coils and headphones, carbon fiber shafts, stuff like that, and in my opinion, it needs at least a set of headphones with it for $599. Will they add more features? I would like to see some more features added to it. I don't know if they will, but me and Iffy were talking about this behind the scenes, and there are some more features that I would like to see on it, or at least on their next model is a tracking ground balance, automatic noise cancel. But again, this is one of the best EMI handlers that I've seen. But if you're using a Vortex pre this Garrett update that's supposed to be coming out, I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple of pro tips on it. If you are hunting in mild to medium dirt, what I found is that the frequency shift matters in this current version. And this is 2.03 on December 5th, 7:01 p.m. So the frequency shift needs to be ran lower, like at a 1, than at an 8. If you raise it to 8, it gets worse on the identification. So if you are going to run it, you have this machine in your hands and you're waiting on the update, my suggestion is to lower the frequency shift in whatever you're in, whether it's coins, zero mode, lower it to 1. And on the beach, it was running better at 1 too. I had to think about that for a minute. But the frequency shift is affecting this detector's performance from the high end to the low end. It's affecting it. And what I found to get for what we got now for IDs, and I'll show that guy to you, to get an idea of closer to what it's got now, higher up in the ID scale on coins, you need to run it at a frequency shift of 1. Why is it doing that? I don't know. It's probably just a software thing, and in the update, I hope we'll straighten all of that out. But let me come back here. Squatch Stumper took it out. He found off, like you said, frustrating. So Squatch Stumper is another one, and that's the first report that I've seen that he reported the numbers are off. Again, let me show you guys this real quick. Stop buying it. We'll bring out a Pro Pack. I really feel, Mark, in my opinion, that they should offer some kind of package deal with this, because the other companies are doing it. And you got to compete. You got to compete. And I know that there's people who love Garrett and they'll never leave Garrett, just like there's people who will never leave Mind Lab, they'll never leave XP. I am a cross brand. If Garrett come out with a machine tomorrow that outdid an XP or a Manicore, I would be using it. You guys know that I test and I love Nocta, and for the price, they're pretty tough to deal with. But at the end of the day, why do I use a Manicore and a Deus 2? Well, you guys that watch me know why I use those detectors. But yeah, you got to be in the competition. Be fixed with a vibrating handle. Yeah, I would like to see that in the future, Garrett, too. Dead quiet on the beach 20 years ago. Yeah. But, the thing now is, though, Jeff, these detectors, I've tested the X-Cal against the Deus 2 and the Manicore on gold, and it's not close. And I will take that little bit of, and you can cut the Manicore and the Deus 2 back and set them in different programs that run different weighted frequencies and change all that and make them just run solid quiet, but I run them in the higher frequency programs chasing the gold. I love the Manicore. I really love it. I'm loving the Deus 2. I love it. And guys, I found great stuff. I love the Manicore too. Man, I appreciate it, Stink. Stink is a big supporter of my channel. He has helped me, and he's hit me with that 100 before, and I appreciate the money. I really do. That helps. I bought this machine. This machine was not sent to me by Garrett. But yeah, this where was I going here? So we got frequency shift, we got price, cons. The ID, of course, is a con. Limited tone options, 3 and 5. I wish that we had more tone options. I wish Garrett would develop a pitch tone at least, because I know that there's a lot of guys who relic hunt in the Garrett line, use the Garrett products. That's where I started. When I first got my first real machine was an AT Pro, and I went through all the nail coils, but a pitch tone is a deadly piece of equipment on a machine in iron. Let's see what we got here. We need some tone options. Yeah, they do offer features. They do, and that's just, I don't know what else to say about that. That's just a fact. They do, but I want this VDI stuff straightened out. That would definitely help with the people who have already purchased it. Oh yeah, I was going to show something here. Vanquish is quiet, I think. Okay, Terry has been doing pretty good with the Vortex. Oh yeah, this is something too, Terry, that people will get. like when I show the VDIs, I've never said that the Vortex won't find stuff. I just said that it's the best unmasking Garrett that I've seen. But if you're doing digging, let's look at the IDs. Let me pull up North. Let's see here. Minor. What we got here? Did I pull it up? Target IDs. No, that's where they say that it comes in. Let's see here. No, that's Steve Herboss. I pulled a thing. Did I put that thing in here? Surely I loaded that thing. Oh, let's see here. Where did I put it? You guys give me a minute. I'm having technical difficulties. I'm looking for the target ID sketch that he gave me. Let me pull down here to a new scene. Give me just a minute. It's going to change to this ugly camera. Let's pop the, well, that ain't going to work. We'll just put this camera up there real quick. Let me pull this up, guys. Hold on just a minute. Let me see if I can find it. Did I download it? Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna bring this in right here. And there we go. Let me zoom out on it. Now this is metal detecting Northwest Wisconsin. He's on here tonight, and I appreciate you sending this to me. And this is what he got on the IDs. So if anybody wants an ID guide that has the Vortex, well, there you go. But we can see that the coins, we can see that in multi, the coins are definitely reading off, which is what the update is going to address here is those IDs. But you guys, what else? Well, you know, sites are important. I mean, that's important. If there's nothing there, it doesn't matter what detector you use. If nothing is there, nothing is there. So let me shrink this thing down just a little more. When I change cameras, there you guys go. Let me set it right there just for a minute. And you know what? I messed up. I forgot to give Ryan a shout out. If you're looking for a metal detector, this is the guy to deal with. Sorry about that, Ryan. I know that you were in the intro video, but great guy to deal with. Got me my Vortex. I was number 1 or 2 on the list. I think Iffy was second. And got them sent out to us, man, real quick. Great guy to deal with. So whatever brand you're using, he's got them all. Oh, yeah, there we go. This is another one that Sharpshooter was asking me about, and we went and looked at it. And that is the reference numbers, and this is a con. The reference numbers on the knot screen. There's no reference point. So it's really kind of aggravating, like, if you go into the machine and you want to notch out something, you basically have to have it, let me get my eyes on here. You have to have it under the coil to notch it out because, let me see if it'll focus. Come on, there we go. There's no reference points like when you move the, let me see if I can do it with the, see that, how it's moving? You don't know where you're at. It needs some kind of numeric guide on that to tell you what you're referencing on the knot system. The other detectors do, and even the Apex has a digital number line and a number line up here. So it would be very nice to have a number line. So like if I said, well, this is Calabash Digger's USA coin program for the Vortex, then you could key it in. But the way that it's set up, you basically have to have the targets under the coil. Now, of course, they do have a USA coin program in here, but if you want to customize a program for your own needs, it's a little bit tedious, and if it had a numeric system, it would be very easy and way more user-friendly and intuitive. So that is something that TN Sharpshooter was asking me about, and I went and did some notching on it the other day, and I was like, this is a little bit aggravating. So maybe they could, you know, on our wish list, they could put some numbers with that. Let's see here, right here. Metal Detecting Wisconsin says he's got a theory, and I'm just going to post it, and I'm going to take this out now. He's got a theory on this that there's just numbers missing. Now, I don't know if that's true or how it's working, but he made a good case. I talked to him on the phone, and he made a good case for it, that he swung it over a stop sign, and it didn't even ring in the 90s. And then that, well, let me put that back in there real quick. Let's see here. Is it this one? No, not that one. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, there we go. So he could not get the detector to ring up in the 90s, and he would say that it would jump from like 83 to 86. He never got an 82 or an 84. And, you know, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time dissecting the VDI system now because we know that it's not right. And we know that Garrett's listening and that they're working on the update to fix it. So you guys that joined late, that is officially from Garrett. They're working on that, and there will be probably an update in the future for the long charge times on this metal detector, you know, coming out of the box. Oh, yeah, and there was one more thing that I should have brought up. Garrett is going to amend their manual and say that the detector, you should charge it fully before use. So let me repeat that. You should charge the detector to full charge before you use it, and that is per Garrett, and that will be updated according to Steve Moore in their manual. So we'll look forward to seeing that. We'll look forward to seeing the update and retesting it on the coins and you know, see how that goes and taking it back to the beach because it, you know, it has some good things. If you want a stable machine, I mean, it's a stable machine on the beach. The ID needs to be worked on though, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse. They're very well aware of it. I've made enough videos about it that they're well aware of it, and users are aware of it, that the VDI system is, you know, so, you know, people that are in the Garrett ecosystem and they want to, you know, coin hunt are going to have to work around this or maybe use a single frequency because the single frequency on the machine does ID more correctly. And I didn't deep dive a whole lot. I didn't do a chart or a shakedown of it really in single frequency on all the different targets like that Metal Detecting Northwest Constant has here in his chart here in single frequency, but it seems to do better and more accurately in single frequency on the VDI now. So if you're cherry picking and you're a Vortex user, that may be an option for you till Garrett gets it updated. If you're relic hunting, then it probably won't matter so much. If you're in iron, you're going to dig everything from an 83 to a 60 to a 50 to, you know what I mean, down in almost to the, what is it, the 40 is where the iron starts on the machine. So pewter buttons, I don't know how low they come in, but I'll have to check that. Yeah, Ryan will definitely bend over backwards for you. He sure will. You know, settings at turn off. Oh, yes. And if Garrett's watching, another thing on the wish list is make settings. I know that, let's see if it does it. Let's see what happens here. On changing the settings, somebody was talking about doing something with it the other day, like in thin coins mode, and then when they cut it off, they had to go back into it and redo it. Can we get it to where it saves the last settings that you use? So if I'm in 0 mode and I go in and add 2 notches, tap, in a certain area, and I cut it off and cut it back on, they disappear. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they disappear. But some of the settings like the recovery speed or the iron filter stay the same. So maybe we could get it to where it would save those extra settings or be just like it was when you left it. And that's how the other machines do, like the Manicord and the Legend. Wherever you leave it, when you cut it off and you cut it back on, those settings stay the same. And that is also helpful because, I mean, it's just a convenient thing. You know, if I'm on a site and I notch out a couple things and I go eat a sandwich, cut my detector off, and then I have to cut it back on. I know that it's not, you know, you can't do. It's not like going to be the end of the world, but it's more convenient and user-friendly and makes for a more enjoyable experience. I just cut it right back on, and it's where I left it. Let's see here what we got here. Also, beach mode is more accurate on ID. Okay, so beach mode might be an option. There we go. That's a good piece of data, and that's what we're about here at Calabash Digger Adventures, and that is data. And I talked earlier about all the other stuff, and data, negative or positive, you know, and this piece of data right here, beach mode, is also more accurate on ID. If you're using a Vortex, then, and you live in a place where the ground allows for it, you may want to use beach mode to coin hunt with. So just keep that in mind out there. And we've seen other things too, like with the Legend before they updated it. And I have not tested the Vortex with modern trash. Me and TM was talking about this. I've not tested it with aluminum foil, pull tabs, and stuff like that you would, you know, run up on in a park. I have not tested it like that yet. But we will get to that and look at it. And it won't be, at that case, we'll look at the beach mode and all that to see how it handles modern trash. Let's see. It's kind of aggravating. If he did a thing on that, you know, I don't know. Here's the thing. If Garrett has some big YouTubers, and, you know, this is a convenience thing. So when I'm using the Manicore, the Deus 2, the Legend, the Triple Score, somebody said some Christmas gifts will be here. I'm happy. Or the Triple Score, and I'm filming, I can actually run the speaker and the headphones at the same time. Or like with a Manicore, I can disconnect, but this one you have to unpair or cut the headphones off. It would be nice to have a feature where you could either run, especially for YouTube videos. It just makes it so much more convenient to have the machine running the external speaker and the headphones at the same time, because then the YouTuber has to do nothing but just film. With the way it's set up now, if a YouTuber really is hunting and he wants to find artifacts, and he's got to go through this whole process on all the targets he digs, or he has to dig with the external speaker alone, and that's not as good. Just like we talked about earlier, the headphones have a way better quality tone than the external speaker. So if the man is actually really hunting and trying to make videos for Garrett products, then it would be way better for him to have the external speaker and the headphones running simultaneously at the same time. So no, it's kind of aggravating if you did a video on it, and it's kind of aggravating if you are a YouTuber. Maybe not so much if you're not, but to disengage and re-engage. But the optimal thing is, like the other brands, is to have both running at the same time. Makes it way easier filming. Let's see how many we got in here. Oh, we still got a few people watching, so would ring up. Let me pop it back up. Nick, did he have a nickel on there? I think it's right. Nickel 55. In beach mode compared to other modes, then Garrett should compare the software regarding. That's a good point, Digging Dude. That's a good point. You know, that's a good point. I mean, the VDI thing, that's the glaring negative. I mean, let's just be for real about it. It's a glaring negative, but the Vortex users will have to wait on Garrett to update it. When will that be for all you guys that joined? I don't know officially from Garrett. They're listening, and they are working on an update of these concerns. And full charge your detector. When you take it out of the box before you use it, per Garrett, full charge it before you use it. And there should be an update. They told Iffy that there should be an update for the long charging times too. So I'm going to run my detector all the way empty and see how long it takes it to fully charge back up. To run speaker, yeah, it's awesome for taking video. And Garrett has a lot of big YouTubers. We all know they got Aqua Chigger and they got Nugget Noggin, and they got some big YouTube personalities, and that would be very helpful. I would suppose that those guys, I'm just supposing, and I'm just speaking what I think, that they would be hunting with headphones when they were like doing some serious artifact hunting, and that would make life on them real easy. Just click up, hit the GoPro or chest mount or whatever, and then you got your audio, and you're still hearing what you need to be hearing. Let's see what else we got here. Correct. James, the time will tell. We seen the Legend. We seen the Legend, and we seen it do a transformation. We'll see what happens with the Vortex. But this is what I can say about the Vortex in the Garrett line, and I'm going to repeat myself. One of the most stable, or if not the most stable detector I've ever seen on the saltwater beach. EMI mitigation is very, very good. The depth on the saltwater beach is very good. And in the Garrett lineup, it is the best unmasker. It is not, in my test garden, the deepest of the Garrett lineup. The AT Max for raw depth. Now, the Vortex will smoke the Max in unmasking. But for raw depth and ID at depth, the AT Max has an advantage at this current time, December 5th, 721 from my testing. The AT Pro, the AT Pro will not hang with the Vortex on unmasking. Maybe closer to the depth of the Vortex, maybe the AT Pro. Just I don't have enough. I sold my AT Pro, but I'm thinking about what I was getting in the test garden. The apex is deeper on the large silver at this current time, but the Vortex has a depth advantage over the apex on the beach, probably by, it looks like, an inch or two, maybe a couple of inches. Possibly, let's see, maybe even 3. I'm going to say 2 inches being conservative. But the ID thing, of course, is the big deal. I mean, you guys see it right there. That's a big deal. But we talked about workarounds, maybe signal frequency, maybe beach mode is some brought up, and the price, finders keepers. You know, that is, I think, and this is just my opinion, Garrett should offer some kind of package deal with Z-Link headphones, because the other manufacturers are, and you know, that's a big deal. I mean, you're getting into metal detecting, and there's some deals going on right now out there that when you look at it and you go, holy crap, how do they you know, even sell a metal detector at that price and make a living? There's a couple of deals going on for Christmas, and I'm just like, wow. But yeah, I definitely think at that price point, in my opinion, it should have a set of headphones with it. I hope to see Garrett succeed. I hope to see Garrett bring this detector around. You know, I hate that it come out like this, and you know, I'm going to give them a jab a little bit about that. It shouldn't have been released in this condition. But, you know, things happen, and it's not just Garrett. We've seen things happen with Nocta, XP, MindLab. It's not just, we've seen that when the Equinox 800 come out, MindLab had to rush to do an update on it because of big silvers. Big silvers. So think about what's going on here. Some problems with big silvers. The Equinox had some problems, big silvers. So Iffy Signal says the Elite and the Triple are deeper on mid to low conductors on depth there than the Vortex in his testing. So that's something to keep in mind. But I hope to see Garrett succeed. I hope to see them get an update and get this thing, you know, IDing correctly in multi-frequency and the frequency shift, which has got a big variation in performance in it. So, you know, I've got videos up on all of this stuff. So if you're using a Vortex, Garrett says they're listening, they're coming with an update, and they are, you know, they're listening to the concerns. So, you know, we'll see what happens when the update comes out. I might look at some modern trash. I'm not going to do a whole lot more with the detector because of, you know, the update. I may do some more unmasking or something where the VDI is not a big deal. And maybe we might run down through for people who have the Vortex and look at single frequencies and look at the IDs and kind of do a chart like Metal Detecting Northwest Wisconsin did in the, you know, coin hunting at 5 kilohertz or 9 kilohertz might not be a bad idea. Yeah, of course you're going to have problems on mid to low conductors because of the lower frequency. But if you're hunting silver, 9 kilohertz and 5 kilohertz, theoretically, and I've not tested this, but normally on a machine, hits silver really good because low frequency hits silver or high conductors, higher frequencies hotter or hits harder on like gold, etc. So if you're watching this and you're not, you know, really up on the frequencies, just keep this very simplistic explanation. If you're running lower frequency, silver coins, higher frequency gold. That's why in the past we've seen detectors like the AT Pro and Fisher F75 and stuff like that running the middle of the road frequencies, trying to get the best of both worlds. But the way that it's come into the modern age, we've got detectors running real high frequencies and low simultaneous now, and we can see those results in testing and performance enhancements. Multi-frequency is the way of the future in metal detecting. I get a lot of blowback on that sometimes, and some people will say, well, single frequency puts all the power into one frequency, and you know, well, the problem is with that theory is I cannot see it in practicality. I can take a high-end multi-frequency machine and even a mid-tier multi-frequency machine now, and I don't know of any single frequency machine that at the end of the day in the digital world that will keep up with it. There's just not none out there. I mean, and I could show this over and over again. So I know that companies have made this transition, and some people have been very critical, and some of the old way of thinking is oh, single frequency is better. And I can tell you right now, no, it's not, and I can prove it time and time again. It may be better in some certain instances, but overall, at the end of the day, you can hunt the beach, you got unmasking abilities, you got different soil conditions, you got on detectors now, you got better idea depth. Due to multi-frequency in the processing, you got better iron rejection, you got bottle cap rejection, big iron that you can get rid of through iron bias, and all of that stuff's tied back into multi-frequency. That's why you never seen an iron bias on a single frequency machine, because it takes 2 frequencies to do it. But let me answer a few comments, and we'll get on with it. And you know, I appreciate you guys joining in. I've been on almost an hour. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a working relationship with Garrett. You know, I've been critical of the performance, like in the past of the AT Max and the AT Pro compared to other detectors, and I just never developed a relationship with that. Because I wasn't using their product, because I found products that would do better for me in iron, and you know, I voiced as much, and I was hoping to see, you know, a super high-end Garrett come out, but we've got the Vortex, which I thought was going to be their flagship, but it's not. According to Steve Morris, says this is not the flagship. So it would be. I'd look forward to seeing a higher-end Garrett come out that's got some more features like some of these other detectors out there. But the Vortex, at the end of the day, will find stuff. It'll find stuff in iron, and like I said, if you're in the Garrett ecosystem, then this is the best unmasker in the Garrett ecosystem that I've seen. Also the deepest on the beach in the Garrett ecosystem too. Could pull a couple of non-favorite out of the iron load house. It would be interesting to take it up there and look at it, and consider the Garrett Vortex and Sterling and trying to narrow it down. Well, you got a lot of choices, Double C. You got a lot of choices, and it's personal preference. And you know, you got a lot of choices. There's a lot of package deals out there, and it's all according about what you want to spend and what you want to do. And I'll just let you look at the videos. I've got videos up, and you can make your own mind up about it. And I don't make. And this is one thing I'm going to state right here, real quick. I don't make money off metal detectors, so I don't care if you buy a Nocta. I don't care if you buy a Garrett. Ryan sponsors my channel up here. He sells all of them. It makes me no difference what you buy. And I don't make money off detectors, so if you call him, you don't even have to say that you've seen his name on my channel, because I don't make money off of detectors that he sells. So just to put that out there. So whatever you buy, Nocta, Garrett, XP, MindLab, that's up to you. And you know, you're going to find stuff with all of them. There's just different things out there that fits people different. Some brands' audio fits them different. Other brands fit somebody else better in the audio. Some features people like better, and some settings people don't like. Some people want a machine that's turn on and go. Some people want more stuff they can adjust, like me, because I feel like I can adjust that stuff to make myself, you know, more in a better situation to find stuff, because sites are getting tough to come by. You guys know this, and targets are getting harder to find year by year, because detectors have gotten better, and now a newbie can buy a detector and cut it on and be pretty dangerous with a factory program. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, Nathan. I do. I appreciate it a lot. I've never messed with what is Garrett's flagship. Well, at this current state, for depth, you're probably looking at the AT Max. These are all my opinions. For unmasking, you're looking at the Vortex. And when I say depth, you're probably talking this much depth to this much depth. AT Max over Vortex. It's not like it's this much, but it seems that like it has an advantage like that on that big silver coin at depth. But we'll see with the update too. But which detector is the most versatile? Well, it would be the Vortex, because you can use it on the beach. You'll be able to use it, you know, and you got the selectable frequencies. So in my opinion, their current lineup, the Vortex, is the Garrett flagship. And I just contradicted myself, right? so that's definitely the most versatile machine they have. I was on the U.S. manufacturer selling coil covers as extras. Hard habit to kick. Well, it is, but U.S. manufacturers are going to have to realize something. And I get that it costs more to make stuff in the USA. I totally get that. But the problem is people are wanting more bang for their buck, especially in this economy. And these package deals are very alluring, and they have the performance to back them up. It's not just like you're buying a detector with no features or no performance. You're buying a detector in a package deal that probably will find 90 or 95% of a $1,500 metal detector. That's what I'm talking about, the performance gap, shrinking from the high end to the low end. It's really, really shrinking. But guys, I'm going to have to get off of here, and I'll tell you why. I would love to hang out with you guys some more, but my dog is a puppy, and I'm going to have to take him out. He took a crap on camera the other day when I was doing a live stream, so that ended live. But everybody kind of thought that was funny, But you guys, I've enjoyed hanging out with you. I haven't, and that's really a shame because this is my opinion about First Texas. The F-75, game-changing metal detector when it come out. And, I don't know. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all these detectors. You guys know I use them and test them all and I shake them all down. And I want everybody to succeed, but you got to keep up with the Joneses to do it. You got to. It doesn't matter whether you're in the metal detecting business or what business you're in. If you don't keep up, you're going to, we've seen two American companies, Garrett and White. Tesoro and White's go out of business. And why did that happen? They didn't keep up. They didn't change their ways. They didn't. Look, people don't want big boxy detectors anymore like White's. They want compact, cell phone looking type stuff. That's just where we've evolved to in the human race and the technology. And if companies don't evolve into that, sure, there'll always be loyal fans. There's still loyal fans of Tesoro. I've had a Tesoro Tiger Shark, Tejon, and somebody contacted me wanting to buy it. I sold it to them. I've got a White's detector. There's still loyal followers of White's. But at the end of the day, the old way of thinking and not evolving, man, we've got some performance detectors out there. I'm talking serious performing detectors. When we start breaking down the XP Deus and the Manicore, man, these things are like, people that have never used them or people that use just one brand really don't know how good all this stuff is. I use all of them and compare all of them. And when you start really breaking down a $1,500 Manicore, which is on sale for $1,200 now, and a Deus 2 is $1,200, this is some pretty technological, sophisticated, advanced stuff. MindLab has doctors and physicists, and I'm sure XP does too, working for them. And, giving props to where hard work is due and technology moving forward. I know that years ago I was seeing Teach Slash DeBart when commanded at the end of live stream videos. Yeah, and I say, VLF Technologies went as far. No, it may have for some engineers, but it ain't for XP and it ain't for MindLab, and apparently Nocta is moving forward too. And we see Garrett getting in the arena with the Vortex and trying to improve their line, but the single frequency days, in my opinion, are over. I'll never buy a single frequency metal detector, a single frequency only metal detector. I might use a single frequency in an EMI zone or whatever if the situation calls for it. But, just being realistic about it, if companies don't evolve and change, and I would love to see First Texas come out with something, game changing. But what's the last thing we seen from them was that AQ Impulse, and that was just not impressive in my opinion at all. But hey, we'll see you, James. How long have I been on here now? Oh yeah. that I'll pay $1,200 for new. Yeah, I would too. I would too. You're welcome, Zapper. You guys have a good night. I'm gonna hey, I appreciate it, Jay Kaiser. I'm gonna get off of here, and we'll be waiting on Garrett. And if I hear any more news from Garrett, or if they send me a beta version or something, don't know that we will. I don't know their process. I don't know if you have to be under NDA, which I don't do. I don't know. I don't know their process, but if I hear any more news about it, I'll let you know. Update coming. When, I have no idea. What will it have in it? I have no idea. It just was told that it will be addressing the VDI issues that are on the machine right now. Hey, you guys all have a great night. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Thanks for stopping by. Stink, thanks, brother, for the money. I'm going to put that in the gas tank. It's going to fund my testing and another trip to bring more content. Oh, tracking ground balance. I would like to see that feature on the beach. That's a nice feature on the beach. I do need to take the Vortex real quick back to the beach and check it from the wet to the dry and see how it makes that transition holding the same ground balance. If I have to ground balance in the dry or the wet, if I had to keep ground balancing. But I'll check that in a future test. We'll be waiting for Garrett and see what happens with the new update. You guys have a great night. Merry Christmas. Let's go diving, Johnny Bottles. Let's go diving. I got to get my dry suit out. Got to get my dry suit out and get it ready. And let's get in the water because the alligators are asleep. You guys have a great night.